Hello and welcome back to Small Talk. My next topic is, why do Muslims fast? Those Muslims who live in the Western nations, they probably already know how many times we get asked this question. So why do you fast? Oh, you can't eat anything from sunrise to sunset. Oh my God, not even water, not even a speck of food in your mouth. It's a very common question that people get surprised that we can't even drink water all day. And then they say, don't you get dehydrated? Doesn't this cause lots of health issues in your life? Um, so this video is not for Muslims. This is obviously for non-Muslims. And I will explain to you why Muslims fast. Muslims fast because first, it's a mandatory aspect of our deen. We have five basic pillars of Islam. If we don't fulfill either one of them, we're not Muslims. And there are conditions that apply to some of them, and there are conditions that don't apply to some of them. Fasting is one of the pillar that some conditions do apply. Fasting is for those who are perfectly healthy and good condition, and the doctor did not tell them that if you don't eat, you will die. They have to fast the month of Ramadan. Second, if you're traveling, you don't have to fast. You can give fidya, means you can give money to a poor or needy person who can't afford food, and you can give them enough money to buy the same type of food that you eat for yourself. So you can't say, oh, because I'm gonna eat, I am able to eat my dinner at a steakhouse, but I'm gonna give you money to go buy McDonald's. No, if you eat at a steakhouse every day, you're gonna give enough money to those for missing the fast. Um, when For missing the fast, equivalent to how much it will cost you if you went to eat your dinner. And the third condition is, sorry, I already said three. If you're sick, if you're traveling, and third is if you're a nursing mom or if you are pregnant, you don't have to fast. It's not required, but if you can, go for it. And the reason why we fast is God Almighty knows that He has not created everyone equally. Some of them are very rich, some of them are very poor, and some of them are very healthy, some of them are very sick. So He wanted to make sure that the he basically wanted to teach us human being the pain of those who cannot afford certain things in their lives, or pain of those who don't have the health but you are blessed with the health. So when we fast, we have food sitting in front of us, there is water in front of us, there is all kind of things that we can eat and enjoy, but we don't do this because this is how Allah is training us to feel the pain of those who don't have these luxuries all year round. You have to go through this pain at least once a year, 1 month in a year, to feel the pain in that month and to have this empathy and sympathy for those, so you are able to dedicate some of your wealth to those who are needy. And I already made a video about zakat. If you have not watched that video, please check out my channel, um, and you'll be able to see it. And it talks about that we have to give zakat. So the people who don't want to give zakat, sometimes the charity that God commanded us to do, once we are hungry and we're starving for a whole month and we don't eat and drink, when we have the food and everything available to us and we still are not allowed to eat it, we feel the pain. We realize how hard it is to live without water, to live without food throughout the day. And then I've seen so many people do way more charity in the month of Ramadan than ever before. Why? Because the system is working. The system that God created is actually doing what it's supposed to do. It's making people realize it's not hard to be hungry and thirsty for 8 hours a day or 9 hours a day, or if the Ramadan comes in the summer, then it's like 18, 19 hours of the day. It's not that easy to do so. And there are people in the world who sometimes don't eat for 2, 3 days because they don't have any food. They don't drink water all day long. They only have 2 sips to drink. Like, for example, in Gaza, whatever is happening right now, they don't have clean water to drink. They only get the bare minimum, few sips, because if they drink more than that, they will run out of their supply of water. So there are people like that in the world. even in within our society, within our community, in our neighborhoods who don't have those kind of luxuries. And it does teaches us the mercy and the kindness for others. And the second reason why we fast is I'm sure you've all heard of this term intermittent fasting. Allah loves human being. He wants to do anything for the survival of humanity. We as human beings have the tendencies to overeat all the time and everything all the time. The things that are super bad for our health, which are so toxic that they could kill us, but we just keep on consuming all those things. So the other reason I believe, the scholars have never said that that's the reason, but in my opinion, I think that was one of the reasons, because if you read Quran and a hadith of the Prophet, you come to know that God will make any exception to save a human life. And I'm sure fasting was one of the way to save human life, because when we all know the modern research has showed that intermittent fasting is very good for our health. It detoxifies our body. Our liver gets detoxified by intermittent fasting. We have so many gut issues that heal when we have a longer period that we don't eat. Our body eats all the dead cells, which could cause cancer, some of those deadly disease that we are facing in this modern lifetime, because we're doing longer fast period, and our body is need the energy, so it will eat up on those dead cells that are not needed in our body. So I think the other reason why the fasting was made mandatory is to protect us and our lives as a human being. Allah wanted to protect the mankind. And that's why once a month, if we fast for 30 days, all those extra toxins that are accumulated in our body kind of get out of our system. All those dead cells that we've accumulated, which are not needed in our body, they flush out, or our body just eats them and get rid of them. And then we develop new, healthy, good cells, which are good for our health. In fact, there's a research done on Middle Easterns, and they see the Middle Easterns have the lowest rate of cancer in the world. And people were doing lots of researches on those. Some said it's probably because of their food. I'm sure that's one of the factors too, because the food the Middle Eastern eat is pretty healthy. They use lots of olive oils and olives and dates, which is natural sweetener. They don't consume as much table sugar. They eat lots of lambs and goats. They don't eat these farm-raised chicken and the farm-raised eggs. Most things are organic. So I'm sure the diet has some effect on their health. But then this one researcher came up with the research, and he said the reason why Middle Eastern have the lowest rate of cancer is because they fast 30 days in a year. And then he further goes ahead and says that the research shows that if you fast 27 days in a year, your body will start all the new cells in the body. Means it will consume all the dead cells or old cells that are no longer needed. They're just floating around in the system. It will eat them all up, and it will consume those, because you're hungry and you're not eating, and your body needs the energy, so it eats up on the fat and those toxic cells that are bad, and then it will reproduce new cells. And it takes 27 days for every organ of your body to kind of rebuild itself. And the fact that we fast for 30 days, we go 3 days more than 27 days. So I'm sure that's the reason there are less deadly cells in the system. So that's why there's a lowest cancer rate in the Middle East, in the world. So the Muslims fast for these two reasons: to help others feel the pain of those who are less fortunate, and so then we can help them feed, we can help them stand up on their feet and make their ends meet. And the second part is for the human being's survival, because human life is very precious to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to God Almighty. He does not want to waste any human life unnecessarily. I hope this video helps. Please give my video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Until next video, Allah Hafiz.